If you've been following me for any decent amount of time, you'll know that I love strategy RPGs and wish there were more of them. Well, there's one in particular that I really enjoy and is actually the sponsor of this video, War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I actually reviewed this game about 2 years ago on the channel and quite enjoyed it. With it being the 2-year anniversary of the game, what I thought I'd do in this video is start a fresh account, play through the first chapter of the story as well as some other side content, and share how the game has changed over the last 2 years. And boy oh boy, has it changed quite a bit in a great way. So let's just dive right in, shall we? In War of the Visions, you play as Mont, the heir apparent to the Kingdom of Leonis. He's a young but kind-hearted character that has a lot of issues with being violent. I actually found this really intriguing because I feel like in most strategy RPGs, the characters are ready to just dive head-on into battle, but with this one, he's hesitant, so it creates some really interesting dynamics between him and his brother, who is much more eager to get into combat. And the grander story itself is what you'd expect from a strategy RPG like this, with politics, intrigue, backstabbing, and more. Now, the thing that surprised me then, and what still surprises me now, is the production value for this game considering it's a mobile game. Whether it's the character portrait arts, the great voice acting, the animation scenes in story moments, they're all really fantastic. And overall, the story is just really compelling. And what's nice is that the story scenes are relatively short and it keeps the pacing brisk, which is nice. Now, since the launch, they've added a part 2 to the story with tons of new characters, as well as new side story content where you can earn powerful new characters. Overall, there's dozens of hours to get into the main story here, and all of it is for free, so you really can't go wrong. Now, if you've ever played Final Fantasy Tactics before, this type of gameplay should feel very familiar. It's a turn-based strategy RPG where you'll deploy your troops and either have to defeat all the enemies on the map or defeat a certain enemy. And like Final Fantasy Tactics, it's all mission-based, there's not really any exploring, which is fine because that's what strategy RPGs are all about. You can bring up to 5 characters into battle, and as well as a companion from another player's army if you want to, but again, that's optional if you want a more challenging combat style. And my goodness, is the combat in this game so good. It really is like Final Fantasy Tactics. There's great terrain, there's great map design, there's a good variety of enemies you're fighting, and a good way to use all the abilities that you have with your characters. It was so fun trying to figure out the different challenges of each level, like one where archers are just pelting you from the top of this mountain, and you have to kind of climb it before they kill you. Thankfully, I had my trusty Dragoon to help me out. The other nice thing about these battles is that they are relatively short to keep the pacing brisk for the most part, but usually within each chapter, a couple times per chapter, there are longer, more challenging ones. And it has a lot of the Final Fantasy Tactics hallmarks, like percentages to hit an enemy, having the right positioning, seeing the turn order, which is so helpful, as well as tons of other features. Now, you can also set the game to auto battle if you want to, but to me, that takes all the fun out of it, in my opinion, because I just want to get in there and nitty gritty and really do all the different moves for all my different characters. Also, I have to say that the AI isn't always the best. It seems like it just wants to run head on and finish the battle as quick as possible. One of my priests would always just run in and get killed if I wanted to do auto battles here and there, so for the most part, you probably want to actually play the game. That said, it is good to do auto battles if you're trying to grind out some experience to get that character to the next job level or just get some more JP. Now, you can also increase the battle speed to 1.5 times speed or even a new 2 times speed. This new speed was definitely not available at launch when I originally played it, and this new 2 times speed is very welcome. Now, what I love about this game is the character customization. Now, each character does have a starting job you would expect, like a black mage, white mage, and so on. However, they have 2 other jobs that they can level up into and learn their abilities. And I gotta tell you, each character has a massive ability board. Whether it's leveling up certain character stats, getting new abilities, whether it be your counter ability or increasing your stats, or just some new ability you can use in battle, there's tons to dive into and tons of ways to customize your characters. Not every character can be every job. I mean, there are like dozens of jobs, so that would be kind of crazy, but I do like that each character has 3 jobs that kind of go together, and it feels like a more streamlined experience, so you can just get into the game and just start playing. Now, to me, the most surprising thing that I've found since launch is that this game is way more friendly to brand new players. I gotta tell you, when I started, they gave me tons of summons to get ultra rare characters. I mean, basically, I had a team of all ultra rare characters to start the game off, and I think when I played previously, like I had to go 2 chapters deep to get my first one or even my second one. You definitely want to do that, and it is limited to the first 7 days, I believe, that you start your account or that you start this new character, so make sure you get in that and you don't miss that. And in fact, there's a couple times where you get to pick your own ultra rare characters. Definitely make sure you grab them, whether it's you like them based on the looks or you're trying to just build out your perfect team. And you don't just get tons of new characters, but you get leveling up items, gil, all kinds of other stuff. I mean, look at how much gil I have. This was not given to me by Square Enix. This is just what I got when I started my new account. And that's crazy. You'll never run out of gil. And I think the point of doing all this is to just get you into the heart of the game faster so you can enjoy it fully. I felt so excited to dive in this time with all these super cool characters. When I kind of balanced out my team just the way I wanted it, I had a gunner character, a black mage that specialized in ice spells, a spell sword character, which is kind of like a knight that can attack from range with special abilities, a classic white mage, definitely was not an ultra rare character, but I love that classic look, as well as a dragoon. Now, of course, this is a Final Fantasy game, so you can collect other Final Fantasy characters, and in fact right now they're doing a Final Fantasy VI collaboration to celebrate the 2-year anniversary, so you do get Locke for free and have the chance to earn Celes and Terra through summons. This Final Fantasy VI collaboration ends on April 26th, so make sure you get those characters while you can. On top of loving the gameplay, I love the way this game looks. It feels like the natural progression of the Final Fantasy Tactics art style. It's kind of gritty but has that painterly look. I just can't get over it. It looks so cool. And also the character designs are fantastic. And since launch, they've definitely added tons of new characters. I mean, half my team I didn't even recognize. They were definitely not in the game when I started. So you're probably gonna find a handful of characters that you love the look of. I know I did. And also each character has their own special attack animation that is so awesome. Now you have to build up to this throughout the battle, but once you do get enough points to execute it, man, does it look cool. Now in the last 2 years, I've also upgraded my phone, so it definitely runs a lot better. Right now I'm currently playing on an iPhone SE. I know that's still even outdated by most people's standards, so if you have something newer, whether it be Android or iPhone, you're probably gonna have the game running better than I did, and to me, I felt like the game ran fantastic. It looked super crisp and ran at a great frame rate. I'm pleased to see that War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is even better since launch. Not only does it have the same great combat and awesome presentation, but it's much more friendly to new players with tons of added content like side stories and challenges. If you love strategy RPGs and you haven't played War of the Visions yet, you absolutely need to give it a try. You can download it for free right now on the iOS App Store, the Google Play Store, or the Amazon App Store. I'll leave links below and in the description, and it would help out my channel so much if you want to play the game that you would download it through my link. I genuinely enjoyed this game a lot, and I hope that you will too. Thanks once again to Square Enix for sponsoring this video. I love when I get to do sponsorships for games I actually enjoy, so I'm super grateful that Square Enix reached out to me to talk about this game. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.